For my essay and presentation, I chose to do research on the evolution of Little Red Riding Hood. The origins of Little Red Riding Hood have been debated by historians for years. Many theorists believe the story originated from Europe, but others believe it came from Middle East or even China. The Wolf and the Seven Goats is one of the earliest comparable versions of the Little Red Riding Hood. This version of the fairy tale involves the wolf attempting to infiltrate a home of 7 young goats while their mother is away shopping. However, the mother warned her children about the wolf who roams the woods. The children are very aware of the wolf by his voice and long brown feet, so he rushes down to drink an elixir to give him a motherly voice and powders flour on his feet to make them look white. The wolf returns and the goat children open the door, only for the wolf to gobble all the children up except for one. The mother comes home in tears and mourning, and then she discovers the 7th goat. They step outside to see the wolf fattened up and sleeping in the field, and see his stomach kicking and punching, and decide to open up his stomach with a needle and thread while he's sleeping. The 6 other children are still alive, and the mother goat has the kids fill up his stomach with rocks. The wolf woke up thirsty and headed for a pond, which he fell into and drowned due to being front-heavy from having rocks in his stomach. La Finta Nona. One of the earlier versions includes La Finta Nona, which translates to the false grandmother, and is believed to be repeated by French peasants unto the Italians. In this version, an ogre replaces the wolf as the antagonist, and not only kills her grandmother, but tricks Little Red into eating and drinking her grandmother's flesh, teeth, and blood. The ogre then persuades Little Red to hop into her grandmother's bed and with him and devours her. Other versions of La Finta Nona include more crude suggestions and suggest sexual implications between the wolf and Little Red, including where Little Red disrobes before she hops into bed with the wolf, although it was never stated that the wolf asked her specifically to strip before joining him in bed. Charles Perrault's version is one of the better known and recognized adaptations of the story. He wrote it in 1697 in France, along with a collection of 10 other fairy tale fables. Unlike previous writers of the story, Perrault was not born into aristocracy, yet was not poor. He actually showed some concern and sorrow for the lower class and wrote Little Red as a peasant, however, a more well-off peasant than most during the time. Little Red and the wolf engage in friendly conversation in the woods, and the wolf cannot eat Little Red in the woods because the woodcutters were there. Little Red reveals her grandmother's address, and the wolf races to her house before Red goes there and devours her grandmother and then asks her to climb into bed with him. Once again, Little Red does trip before hopping into bed, but it wasn't solicited by the wolf to do so. The Brothers Grimm's version. Lastly but not least, in the 1857 version of the story written by the Brothers Grimm, 2 centuries after Perrault's version, this version of the story was titled Little Redcap and involved a hunter that was disguised in animal skin to come along and save Little Red and her grandmother from immediate peril.